They woke up and the town was gone. Not destroyed, not burned, just gone. No smoke, no rubble, no bodies, only silence, and a perfect, chilling emptiness where a community of 300 people used to breathe, laugh, and live. The disappearance of Cold Creek, a quiet mining town in northern Montana, remains one of America's most unsettling, unsolved mysteries. And the strangest part isn't that it vanished overnight, it's that no one seemed to care it did. Cold Creek was the kind of town you'd pass without ever noticing. One road in, one road out, a diner that still used handwritten menus, a church bell that rang at noon because the pastor didn't trust digital clocks. People there lived simple, disconnected lives. Maybe that's why, when everything vanished, it took days before anyone even realized. The first to notice was a truck driver named Miles Harrison. He used to deliver supplies once a week, mostly canned goods, propane, and beer. But when he arrived on the morning of November 17, 1992, there was nothing to deliver to. He stopped his truck where Main Street should have been. The sign was still there. Welcome to Cold Creek, elevation 4,207. But beyond it was only dirt and dry grass. No houses, no telephone poles, just open space stretching to the horizon. At first, he thought he'd taken a wrong turn, but the coordinates on his delivery sheet matched exactly. He walked the field for nearly an hour, shouting names, calling into the wind. He found a single object, a child's tricycle, rusted, upright, standing on its own, no footprints around it. When the local sheriff came, he thought it was a prank. He ordered aerial photos. The next day, when they compared the new images to maps from just a week earlier, the difference was undeniable. Cold Creek had been erased from the earth. Officially, the county listed it as an unexplained geological event. But there was no crater, no sinkhole, no landslide. The land was flat and clean, unnaturally clean. Soil analysis showed no signs of recent disturbance, as if the buildings and people had never been there in the first place. Unsurprisingly, the story made local headlines for a few days. But then, just as suddenly, the coverage stopped. No follow-ups, no interviews. It's as if someone told the press to move on. And they did. There were whispers, of course. Farmers claimed they heard a low hum coming from the hills that night, a sound like metal bending underwater. A few claimed they saw lights, not in the sky but on the ground, flickering through the trees before everything went dark. A week later, state officials sealed the area. No public access. The official reason, potential radiation. But when researchers from the University of Montana requested samples, their applications were denied. Every single one. Within a month, Cold Creek disappeared from maps. Literally. The digital version of the county atlas was updated, and the town's name gone. It was as though it had never existed. Today, 30 years later, the site remains fenced off. Grass grows where homes once stood. There's no plaque, no memorial, not even a record of the residents' names. Families of those who vanished tried to file missing persons reports, but the police rejected them, citing no proof of prior existence. Think about that. A whole town full of people, and no one could even prove they were real. Some say the government knows more than it admits. Others believe it was something else, an experiment gone wrong, a dimensional slip, or maybe even something older, something that's been erasing places long before Cold Creek. But one fact remains. On November 16, 1992, Cold Creek was alive. By sunrise on the 17th, it was gone. And no one, not the media, not the government, not even the neighboring counties, ever asked why. At 2:37 a.m., just hours before the town vanished, a single radio signal went out. It lasted exactly 42 seconds, and no one's been able to explain what it said. The Cold Creek radio tower wasn't much, a rusted antenna beside the post office, powered by an old diesel generator. It was used mostly for weather updates, lost dog announcements, and the occasional Sunday sermon when the pastor couldn't make it to church. Nothing strange ever came through it. Until that night. The recording surfaced months later, found on a worn-out cassette inside a shoebox at a pawn shop in Helena. The label read, "CC transmission, do not play." No one knows who brought it in. When experts listened to it, they heard something unsettling. A man's voice, distorted and distant, layered over static like wind moving through metal. He repeats one phrase, slowly, almost pleadingly, but the words don't match any known language. Linguists tried everything: spectrogram analysis, phonetic reconstruction, reverse playback. The waveform didn't behave like speech. It pulsed, perfectly rhythmic, 7 beats per second, like a heartbeat. When slowed down, the audio revealed something else beneath the main voice. A faint echo, female, whispering in English. 3 words, "Don't come here." At least that's what it sounds like. The tape was taken by state investigators and never seen again. But copies circulated online years later, digitized and posted to forums that no longer exist. Every version sounds slightly different, as if whatever was recorded kept changing. The day after the signal aired, the tower operator, a man named Harold Keene, vanished along with the rest of the town. But here's the part no one mentions. Harold had written a note. His brother found it months later inside a locked drawer of his truck parked 50 miles away. It said, "The air hums when the frequency turns blue. If you hear the numbers, it's already too late." No one knows what he meant by that. The handwriting was shaky, almost carved into the paper. In 2004, a ham radio hobbyist named Paul Dietz claimed to have picked the same frequency, 4.7 MHz, while driving near the area. He said he heard a slow, repeating pulse, followed by a mechanical clicking sound that grew faster the longer he listened. His car's engine stalled moments later. When he restarted it, his clock was wrong, off by exactly 1 hour and 42 minutes. The same duration as the official evacuation gap recorded in the sheriff's missing time logs. Coincidence? Maybe. But Paul swore that while the radio was dead, he heard voices, not through the speakers, but behind him, inside the car. The frequency was later banned by the FCC, officially due to unidentified interference from decommissioned equipment. Unofficially, no one talks about it. Every time someone tries to broadcast on 4.7 MHz near Cold Creek, the signal cuts out. Every time. Some theorize the transmission wasn't human at all, that it was a byproduct of whatever wiped the town off the map. Others think it was a warning sent from inside the event itself. A few researchers even compared the waveform to natural resonance frequencies recorded during earthquakes. But the shape didn't match any known pattern of tectonic activity. Instead, it matched something else, brainwave frequencies during deep REM sleep, which raises a terrifying question. What if Cold Creek didn't disappear? What if it fell asleep? For decades, paranormal investigators, sound engineers, and conspiracy theorists have all obsessed over those 42 seconds of noise. Some claim that listening to the unedited version for too long can cause nausea, hallucinations, or vivid dreams of a place with houses made of dust and skies that breathe. Of course, that could all be coincidence, or suggestion, or maybe just static. But one thing's certain, before Cold Creek vanished, something spoke, and if the voice wasn't human, then whatever answered might still be listening. When the government showed up, they didn't ask what happened. They asked who had been talking. The official report said Cold Creek was a localized environmental anomaly. That was the phrase repeated in every memo, every briefing, every press release. No mention of missing people, no photographs of the site, just that one neat clinical sentence, localized environmental anomaly. Within 48 hours of the disappearance, unmarked trucks rolled into the area. No logos, no plates. Men in dark windbreakers began setting up perimeter fencing, radiation signs, and floodlights. They didn't wear hazmat suits. They didn't even look worried. It was like they already knew what they were looking for. Locals from neighboring towns said they saw soldiers in the forest at night, walking in straight lines with handheld detectors that clicked in perfect rhythm. No one knew what they were measuring. 2 days later, the sheriff of Rose Valley County, the same man who filed the first missing town report, resigned. His letter was 1 sentence long. You can't file a case that doesn't exist. The county office sealed all records of Cold Creek. Even the birth certificates, school documents, and land deeds vanished from the archive. People who tried to bring up the town were told they were misremembering, that Cold Creek had been evacuated years earlier due to flooding. But there was never a flood. A reporter named Laura McKinney tried to investigate. She worked for the Montana Chronicle, a small regional paper known for covering mining disputes. Laura drove to the site 3 weeks after the event. The access road was blocked by military vehicles. When she asked for identification, the guards refused to speak. She wrote in her notes that she felt a vibration in the ground, like standing next to a subwoofer. Her last entry reads, "Something's humming beneath the soil, not machines, something alive." She never published the article. A month later, she was found dead in her apartment from what was ruled a gas leak. The notes disappeared from her desk. By early 1993, the media had gone silent. National outlets refused to cover the story. A Freedom of Information Act request filed by a private citizen returned this message: record not found. Town in question not recognized as existing jurisdiction. Even the Postal Service deleted the zip code. When someone tried to send mail to an address in Cold Creek, the letters came back stamped, "No such destination." Then came the strangest part. In 1994, a new military base appeared 20 miles from where Cold Creek used to be. It wasn't on any public construction plan. Locals said it was called Site 27A. A fence surrounded it with signs reading "Property in view of U.S. Geological Survey, authorized access only." But there was no geological survey. Satellite imagery from that year showed hangars, antennas, and what looked like a buried structure, a dome the size of a football field covered in earth. Every photo taken of the site showed static distortions, wavy lines like heat rising from asphalt. Engineers said it was lens malfunction, but every lens malfunctioned the same way. In 1998, an anonymous source claiming to be a former employee of Site 27A posted a message on an early internet forum. The post was deleted within hours, but someone archived it. It read, "They're not studying what happened, they're keeping it asleep." Every 12 years, the ground hums again. We monitor the frequency. The next hum will be in 2004. Sure enough, in 2004, 12 years after the event, residents of nearby towns reported strange noises late at night. The sound was low, rhythmic, and mechanical, lasting about 5 minutes. Government officials blamed pipeline pressure testing, but there were no pipelines within 50 miles. To this day, Cold Creek remains one of the few documented disappearances where the federal government never released a public investigation. The files, if they exist, are classified under continuity infrastructure. That's the same category used for nuclear shelters and off-grid communication hubs, not missing towns. What's left of the area now is sealed behind double fencing, with cameras that move even when no wind blows. And if you drive close enough at night, roll your windows down and turn your radio to 4.7 megahertz. Some say you'll still hear that hum, steady, patient, and waiting. They said nothing was left, but that wasn't true. In 2001, a private research team obtained limited access to the Cold Creek exclusion zone. The permission came quietly, an unsigned approval letter from an office that didn't exist. The group called themselves the ARC Project, a small collective of physicists, geologists, and one former military radio technician. Their goal was simple: prove that something, anything, had once stood there. When they arrived, the land was wrong. From a distance, it looked ordinary. Pale grass, gentle slopes, clouds drifting over a wide Montana plain. But up close, the soil shimmered faintly, as if coated in a thin film of glass. When they stepped on it, it didn't compress. It rang, like metal struck softly under the earth. The readings made no sense. Magnetic flux fluctuated wildly from 1 square meter to the next, producing patterns like fingerprints. Compass needles spun in slow circles. One researcher described it as standing inside a magnet that's trying to remember it used to be something else. They collected soil samples and sent them to 3 different labs. Each returned a different result. The first claimed it was ordinary topsoil. The second found traces of lithium and carbon composites used in aerospace materials. The third said the sample didn't match any known mineral composition on Earth. When the ARC Project tried to publish their findings, their website was taken offline within 48 hours. 2 of their members received cease and desist letters citing violation of federal property laws. The letters bore no official seal. But the most chilling discovery wasn't in the dirt, it was under it. While scanning the ground for anomalies, they detected hollow spaces, geometric, symmetrical voids roughly the size of buildings, 12 feet below the surface. The shapes matched the layout of Cold Creek's main street. Using a ground-penetrating camera, they captured faint silhouettes, perfect right angles, shadows of foundations. Only, the measurements were slightly off. Every structure was 4% smaller than the original town blueprints. as if the town had been recreated underground but imperfectly, like a memory decaying over time. One image showed something else, a shape in the center of what used to be the church. It wasn't a structure, it was a figure, roughly human-sized, standing upright, facing east. Weeks later, the group leader, Dr. Elaine Voss, began reporting vivid dreams. She said she saw Cold Creek intact, people walking, laughing, unaware they were gone. In every dream, she heard that same hum. When she woke, she found red dust on her sheets. Samples confirmed it matched soil from the site. Dr. Voss disappeared a month later. Her car was found abandoned on Highway 287, engine still running, headlights on. In the passenger seat was a single Polaroid photo. It showed Main Street, Cold Creek, daytime, clear sky, and the caption scrawled on the bottom, "It looks the same here." Years later, a declassified satellite image from 1993 resurfaced online. In the bottom corner, near the erased coordinates of Cold Creek, was a faint blur. When digitally enhanced, the blur revealed patterns resembling streets. But here's the part that still unsettles researchers. The shadow of the town moved. Between consecutive images taken 11 minutes apart, the entire town's imprint had shifted 2 degrees east, as if rotating slowly beneath the ground. That data was confirmed by 2 independent analysts, and then both their servers were remotely wiped. One more piece of evidence remains, though most people don't know it exists. A fragment of what appears to be melted glass, recovered by a hiker near the site in 2009. When exposed to UV light, the fragment emits a low-frequency vibration. The sound matches exactly the waveform of the original Cold Creek transmission. If that's true, then the transmission wasn't just a signal, it was a resonance, a pattern encoded into matter. And if the glass, the soil, and the underground echo of the town all hum at the same frequency, then whatever erased Cold Creek didn't destroy it, it changed its state. Some scientists now call it a resonant disappearance event, a phrase that sounds academic enough to keep people from asking what it really means. But the implication is terrifying. Cold Creek didn't vanish, it was retuned. And if frequencies can erase a place, then maybe, somewhere beneath that quiet Montana field, the town is still vibrating, waiting for someone to turn the dial back. Every mystery leaves behind a theory. Cold Creek left behind too many. In 2012, a graduate student named Eli Warren submitted a thesis that was never approved. The paper was called Resonant Urban Displacement, a case study in collective spatial memory. He claimed Cold Creek didn't disappear in space, it disappeared in perception. According to Warren, the event was a cognitive collapse, a kind of synchronized forgetting. His argument was unsettlingly simple. If enough systems, human, digital, institutional, stop acknowledging a place, then for all practical purposes, it ceases to exist. He cited missing archives, corrupted satellite data, and the erased zip code as evidence of a deliberate memory erasure cascade. When he presented his findings, the faculty shut the session down mid-presentation. 2 weeks later, Warren withdrew from the program. No one's heard from him since. But his theory didn't die, it evolved. In 2015, a classified intelligence memo leaked briefly online. Its title, Spatial Cognitive Containment, Cold Creek Anomaly. It described an experiment involving geosynchronous frequency exposure and perceptual realignment. The memo suggested the government had been studying spatial resonance, the idea that reality can be influenced through synchronized electromagnetic fields across human neural networks. In short, if enough people share the same signal long enough, their sense of place can be rewritten. That would explain everything: the missing town, the erased records, the forgotten people. Not because they were gone, but because we stopped believing they were ever there. It's the same mechanism that makes déjà vu feel real, or how your mind fills in blanks when reading a sentence. But on a scale no one had ever tested before, a collective deletion reinforced by silence. The Cold Creek experiment, if that's what it was, proved something terrifying. You don't need to destroy a place to make it disappear. You just need to convince the world it shouldn't exist. In 2019, an anonymous archivist uploaded a short video titled Town 47, Retuned. It showed aerial drone footage over Montana prairie. At first, nothing unusual. Then, as the drone's altitude changed, faint outlines appeared. Streets, houses, cars, visible only for a few seconds before dissolving back into grass. Frame-by-frame analysis revealed that the shapes flickered at the same 7 Hz frequency found in the Cold Creek transmission. Viewers who watched the clip reported identical dreams that night. A woman ringing a church bell that made no sound, children standing still in the street, and a sky that pulsed like a heartbeat. The video was deleted within 24 hours. Today, no one officially speaks of Cold Creek, but every few years a hiker uploads a photo of the area. Always the same anomaly. Faint architectural shadows appearing in overexposed light as though the town still tries, for a fraction of a second, to remember itself. Some say it's just lens flare. Others claim it's proof that the resonance is decaying, that the containment is breaking down. If that's true, then soon people might start remembering again. And if collective memory can erase a town, what happens when collective curiosity brings it back? The last known transmission related to the case occurred in 2020. A radio enthusiast in Idaho captured a short burst on 4.7 megahertz, a low hum, followed by 3 words whispered in English. No one's sure what they said, but audio analysts think it sounds like, "We're still here." Maybe Cold Creek never vanished. Maybe it's waiting for the signal or for us to remember. Until then, the field remains quiet. The hum sleeps beneath the soil. And somewhere, a bell that no longer exists still rings for a town no one believes was real. There are stories buried so deep the earth forgets how to breathe them. Cold Creek is one of those stories, a place rewritten, remembered only in static and silence. Maybe it's not about where the town went, but where our memory did. If history can be deleted this easily, what else have we already lost without noticing? I'm your narrator, and this is Dark History, where the past doesn't rest quietly, it waits. Until next time, keep your lights low, your signal clean, and never ignore the hum